Long story short, this video was inspired by a really crappy week at Poshmark. Despite all the liking, sharing, commenting, and offering that a guy can do, I haven't sold a dang thing. Because of this lack of success, I've been looking into different selling platforms such as eBay. So with this, I've done a fair amount of research, and I thought this would be valuable to share with you so that you can see a comparison of the pros and cons for both Poshmark and eBay and pit them against each other to decide for yourself which you think is the better platform. If you find this video valuable, don't forget to give it a like and also subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. With that, here it is, the comparison of Poshmark versus eBay in 4 simple categories. The first category that we'll be looking at after I click is fees. And fees is very important to me because it takes a cut right off your profit. Poshmark, as we know, for under $15, you're charged a flat fee of $2.95. Anything over $15 is 20% commission. And then your funds are released on acceptance by either the buyer or 3 days from the delivery date that shows up on Poshmark. And then you can take those funds from Poshmark and have them direct deposited into your bank account. Pretty simple. eBay has an insertion fee, but only if you have more than 50 listings, which means a nominal fee like $1 or less to have an item listed on eBay. And they also have a final sale fee of 10%, and this depends on category. For clothing, I found the 10%, but it can go anywhere from 3% to 12%. And lastly, since there's no integrated payments really with eBay, you end up utilizing PayPal in most cases, which also has about a 3% fee when you add together the flat rate and the percentage. So if you look at it pretty subjectively, Poshmark has about a 20% fee and eBay wins out with only a 13% fee if you look at it that way. For shipping, Poshmark definitely makes this really easy. The buyer pays the shipping, and then from there the seller can either offer discounted shipping at $4.99 or free shipping, but all of this takes away from the profits, as we all know. And then they have the deal with the USPS, so it's integrated with priority mail, and it makes it simple. You just slap the label on a priority mail box, utilize your own tape to tape everything up, and then give it to the post office and they take care of it. Personally, I haven't had any weight issues, and I didn't really read a lot about people having weight issues for shipping with Poshmark, so if you've had them, let me know in the comment section below, but that's something you don't really have to worry about. For eBay, the seller chooses the cost for shipping, and they can either do a fixed price calculated or free shipping, and then they can easily adjust those prices, like the actual price of their item, to absorb the shipping fees, so they can make an item at free shipping but charge a little more for it. But depending on your buyer, that might make the buy more attractive in the end. One thing that you do have to know is that there's really more equipment used in the shipping process. I just use a printer for Poshmark, but I know for eBay you might want to get different types of boxes or envelopes depending on how you ship, and then also a scale so you can do labeling right where you're selling from. So personally, I like the way Poshmark does things, really simplistic, and I'm kind of intimidated from the shipping side for eBay, but it's really up to your own opinion at that point. Demographic. Poshmark has a small user base, especially when it comes to dudes, as I've voiced in previous videos. But the user base itself is extremely active. Just think of all the users, just like you and I, who have the app on their phone and are pretty much checking it a lot of times a day if you're a seller, or maybe just to look up clothing that you found in a retail store for cheaper with the Poshmark app and quick searching it up in your size. The buyers on Poshmark really go for style and experience, while eBay, it's not necessarily as lavish. It can be pretty simplistic. And that's in part because eBay has been around for a while and they have a huge user base. I just looked it up and it was about 180 million as of 2018, and people are on there for deals. They like the cheap things and they want them cheap because it's eBay. but at the same time they understand the used market, so they're not expecting this lavish experience with unboxing their item from eBay. They just want their item and they want it cheap. So depending on how you look at it, I like the idea of a huge user base because I know right now demographic is something I'm running into as a hurdle for Poshmark, not being a lot of dudes on there. So I kind of side with eBay in this department. The last category is overall effort, and this is something that is really personal for me because I know how much effort I put into Poshmark. So it's easy to list, easy to ship from what we talked about, but it's very social, and this can take up a lot of time that you may not even notice during a day. I told you I was tracking hours in that spreadsheet for how much money I'm making, but if I looked at that and tracked all the hours where I'm actually just, casually sharing on my phone while doing something else, it would be an insane amount of hours. So there's the sharing, the commenting, the liking, the offers, and the bundles, and that's all very process driven. So, you get a like, and then you automatically send an offer, or you start bundling stuff together. It's a lot of time just doing that little process oriented stuff, whatever you want to say. And then there's eBay, on the other hand, which is not an extremely social platform. So while it may be more difficult to list items, there's less maintenance, and I found that you can even set price changes automatically, so your item will keep dropping in price until it sells. So from an overall effort perspective, I definitely think eBay is easier. So now that you've looked at all four categories, it's the big time where you decide, eBay or Poshmark, and I want to see those votes down in the comments section. And I'm going to give you a second to do that. 1,000. Okay, we're done. So now I'll reveal what I think about these different comparisons. So while each platform may have won out in a different category, for my personal use, I've decided that I will be using these platforms together in holy matrimony, a good partnership, as one might say. And that's because I really enjoy the Poshmark platform and the social aspect, but I know that some of my items just simply aren't going to sell on Poshmark in a timely manner. So I think cross-posting with eBay, or even, like some of my bigger jackets that I have, I think would be more desirable on a platform like eBay. And I think this is going to be the best, way I can arm myself with these tools to be a more effective seller overall, not necessarily on one platform for another. Because once I get the items listed on eBay, I can just kind of let them sit there until they sell, while I can still keep plucking away at my Poshmark progress. So you'll be seeing me creating an eBay account in the very near future and starting to list items there. I'll be sure to walk you through that process. But overall, I found this comparison helpful for me personally, so I hope it was also valuable for you. If you think it was, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you think it straight up sucked, thumbs down. That's okay. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. And also, I'm definitely looking for more video ideas to look in the future to make, because I found this one really fun, and this was an idea from an outside third party who wasn't myself, and I think it turned out fairly well. But comment that below. This ends today's video. We'll see you next time.